Hey, Jimmy, you are live.
What's up? Beer
Awesome.
Bash Joe. Hey, real quick, what do you want me to refer to you as? Like Beer Bash, BBJ?
You can call me Beer Bash or Beer Bash Johnson. I'm indifferent.
Cool,
Yeah, a
cool,
lot of people
cool.
just call me Beer Bash for short.
Yep, I think I'm gonna do that. How you been, man?
I am doing decent. So since I'm like a loser who's getting into his later 20s but still lives with his parents, my mom made these delicious fucking my mom made these fucking delicious fucking chicken and dumplings for dinner. So
Oh yeah,
I
man.
was munching
I'm
the fuck
jealous.
out on that shit.
I'm jealous of you right now.
Yeah.
I want some chicken dumplings. You know what I had for dinner? Um, Frozen White Castle burgers.
Brutal.
Two of them.
Sometimes it's possible to make those good, but you got to get creative with them.
Yeah, I put a little ketchup on them personally, and just
I
get them
often go
down
with like
and just
barbecue
remind
sauce.
myself. Yeah, maybe some barbecue sauce sometimes. Just remind myself it's sustenance, you know.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I think that would actually be a great thing
A
to
great
lead
segue.
into a great
Yeah.
segue to lead into our first to lead into our topic with the cursed fucking globe Twitter EBT discourse.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course we can always
Talking
clown
about
on the globe people.
sustenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the globe people. Of course, we're for those who aren't in the know. The globe people are the people who believe the Earth is a globe, because as we know, it's flat. Yeah.
But
Yeah, man.
and even more so than just globe people, I've noticed it's very specifically. You're all good, Divine Lie. Everybody, it's often easy to get like the rundown of what Mustafa Kemal Ataturk did and think he sounds
uh,
cool at first, but then you look into it further and you find out he's a dick.
yeah.
But oh, excuse me. Took a sip of
So,
whiskey.
oh, you got some whiskey?
Yeah,
Oh
Canadian
man.
club.
Oh, Canadian Club.
Yeah,
Oh man,
gross.
that's tempting me. That's tempting me, man. I might want to grab myself something to drink. Ah, on a work night. I mean, I've done it before, many times before. Nothing's stopping me.
Yeah. I mean, I drink on stream all the fucking
Yeah.
time.
Oh
But
yeah, I do occasionally.
the even worse so than just like Globe specifically, so many of the people that have just been spewing dumb cursed shit about the fucking food stamp stuff, and the person who started it especially are people who basically get their like entire fucking streamer clout from Destiny's community.
Oh yeah. And the way they get that clout is just from spouting the most objectionable, literally anti-left talking points they can think
Yeah,
of.
often it's like
You
I'm a
know,
leftist, but here why like blah 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 blah, and why liberals are like
I'm a,
and why liberals are actually like really based and blah 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 blah.
I'm a
And
leftist, but all poor people should die before we can achieve true socialism. You know,
yeah,
they say
I'm a
shit like
leftist.
that.
I'm a leftist, but I'm a leftist, but if people aren't, like I tweeted this earlier, it's like I'm on the left, but if people are like poor, that basically implies that they have really bad decision making skills, and so because they
Yeah,
have to live on public assistance, that means that that means that that us like productive members of society fucking get to treat them as if they're children and get to
yeah, and
put
and
leashes on
so
them
many of
for
these
every reason.
so many of these dumb fuck takes. Like afterwards, they'll claim that it was just bait, but like, how many of those were really intended to be bait? You know,
Yeah, I doubt
like
any of them.
every
It,
time that's what they claim when
and
they're called
ultimately,
out on it.
that's what the ultimate like vibe of Destiny's community is like, don't actually give that much of a shit about creating a like society that actually provides better lives for people across the board.
Oh no.
It's literally just be a smug prick.
Yep. And then they praise people for being consistent. Like that is their number one virtue. Except when they praise
Mr.
people
Girl,
for being consistent.
Mr. Girl, I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Girl sounds like Mr. Girl sounds like he's a fucking pedophile, but hey, at least he's consistent.
Right. Like, why would you need to say that? At least the pedophile's consistent. Like, what reason do you have to say that? Like, okay. You know? Like, there's some kind of virtue inherently in being consistent, you know? I'm sure
it's
some of
not
the Nazis
really
were consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the Nazis were probably consistent. Some of the Pol Pot was pretty fucking consistent.
Yeah. So, you got any particular takes you saw on Twitter you want to go over?
Oh, just like
I've got one here, if you want.
Is it Sans?
No, this one's from Mind Waves. Did you see the one from Mind Waves?
Yeah, he was the one who started it, I think.
Yep. Literally nobody provides any substantive arguments
for
that
EBT
one. EBT to cover fast food.
Yeah, quote tweeting Vosh. Yeah, I saw that cursed bullshit.
Quote tweeting Vosh of all people. All we get is virtue signaling about how cruel it is that a poor family can't pay for their McDonald's with EBT, which that's not even a bad argument. Like, yeah, it is pretty fucking cruel. Like, you can get food, but only if it's these particular foods that we have decided are approved for you. You know, how infantilizing is that?
Yeah, it's extremely infantilizing, and that's what that's what makes me laugh about this whole thing.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes me laugh about these fucking rooted. Dog shit takes. Is it's like, oh, you want to talk about fucking virtue signaling? What are you doing? Insisting that insisting that because of perceived failings in life on the part of people who have to take advantage of public assistance in order to help get by.
I feel like implicit in all of this that they're saying, and it kind of goes unspoken, is like, the reason I'm not in this position is because I was able to pull myself up by my bootstraps.
Yeah, it's literally just bootstraps shit.
It's there. You know, it's literally like social Darwinist, Herbert Spencer, it's rooted in that sort of philosophy, that there's something wrong with poor people that resulted in them ending up where they did. Which, of course, is not, like, we have mountains of data that proves that wrong as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and this shit always, Alex Roivas in my chat is bringing up about the consistency thing. If I remember correctly, there was one Nazi during the Nuremberg trials that was like, yeah, I guess you were right that there was no Jewish plot. If there were, we, wouldn't have been able to pull off the Holocaust as easily. It's a paraphrasing, but it's pretty
right.
But it's pretty accurate. And but yeah, I was go on, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, and I did see Basket Case attempted to clarify or interpret that initial argument in, I guess, like, the best possible way. And he was like, well, maybe Mind Waves is just saying, like, lefties need to improve the way they argue about this, which I'm not sure is exactly what Mind Waves meant, but
I don't think that's what Mind Waves meant at all.
Yeah, I guess, like, yeah, we could.
Especially because there's like plenty of receipts from the past of Mind Waves being like horrendously fucking dishonest. And Hey, what's up, Earthspick Roll? Yeah, you did get here earlier tonight. Yeah, we're just for those of you who just joined in, this is Jimmy's room we're talking to. Jimmy's room is a cool lefty streamer in Twitter. Yeah, yep. Excuse me, but yeah, like the thing that annoys me is when these people put out the like bait tweets or other like stupid shit, and they're such fucking suits that they're and especially because they're always like so selectively charitable with who they'll like be very charitable to Destiny, just literally like typing some ridiculous screed about somebody.
Just
but then they'll be
shit.
Yeah, then they'll be extremely like vicious to they'll be extremely vicious to fucking like further left people and shit over the dumbest shit. Then they tweet this bullshit and they act surprised when the people that they're like so fucking antagonistic to, it's like the people that they're so antagonistic to are like, this guy's a fucking idiot, and they literally just like soy face about it.
Yeah, it's like
good time to trial run the new emote, Birba soy.
Destiny will literally have beef with someone, like a trans Twitter person over, I don't know, like welfare, whatever. And then he'll go on Twitter and be like, you know what? I don't even think this person's really trans. I think they're faking. Like he'll say some horrific shit
he'll
like
just
that,
like act like a fucking bully.
Right. They'll defend every like reactionary fucking just anti-left bullshit that he spews from his mouth, and then also attack any left-wing policies like EBT, and then they claim, oh no, we're on the left.
Yeah. And that's the thing, at least Destiny doesn't even really claim he's on the left anymore. He claims to be like a fucking liberal centrist, but but especially when it's like these people that are really fucking like closely associated with him try to claim that they're on the left or they're like social democrats or some shit. It's like, fucking barely, dude. Maybe you're like a fucking Tony Blair social democrat, which is like vastly fucking different than say like a Karl Kautsky social democrat or something like that. But I just find the ridiculousness of all this, and especially when Sansol, another person so guilty of this shit is Sansol, and he tried to like get me to he tried to be like, let's talk about it tomorrow, when I was tweeting about him being a smug douchebag last night. And it's just like, I was thinking like, I responded to it like maybe another day, but honestly, no, I'm probably not going to fucking do it, because Sansol has this tendency to act like, his fucking like pinned tweet says so like a bunch of shit about trying to like create a more positive discourse, but then he is constantly the most ridiculous bad faith actor and does the exact opposite of that by tweeting dumb shit that's very clearly to try to bait people into coming onto his fucking stream so he can turn them into some money that he could turn them into some object to entertain all these fucking douchebags that hang out in his chat. And then they and then he like profits off the whole fucking thing. Yeah,
it's
like
such a scummy path to success.
Yeah, like
online politics.
And there's people who are in this scene. People are like, well, it's the easiest way to grow. It might be the easiest, but it's like the shittiest too. There are people who have like a half decent audience that don't do it from just doing like fucking really like bad faith. I'm not like a completely opposed to fucking debates either, although I think and I actually even think the term debate, bro, is very frequently fucking overused. But
oh yeah,
there's like a lot.
It really, let's be honest, does the term mean anything?
No, it doesn't really mean much of anything.
Debates,
yeah, you know? and especially it's more so a lot of the people who use it kind of makes me cringe, because a lot of the people who use it aren't a lot of the people who use it, or that will use the term, they don't use it to like criticize people who actually participate in like really toxic like cultures around political discourse and actively make it worse and shit for the purpose of making themselves feel right. they use it for anybody who will actually like fucking they'll use it to like
Engage
shit
with the other
upon
side in
they
some
will,
way.
yeah, they will use it to shit upon the very concept of like engaging with people who are not
discourse.
politically in line with you. Like
Yeah.
like for example, some
it somehow gives credence to the other side to acknowledge that they exist in the first place.
yeah. Which is sad because it's especially what you have to like also consider responsible platforming and shit, because there is like a degree to which like some shit is just like absolutely fucking ridiculous or just straight up fucked up, that maybe we shouldn't be like shoving a microphone in this jerk off's face to make it like easier to find the absolute scum of the earth from finding some dude to give money to and continue like boosting their audience of. But
oh, absolutely. And
but,
that's something
yeah,
with Joe Rogan, you know.
yeah, Joe Rogan's so bad with that shit. I can't fucking stand him anymore.
Yeah, and he's like, I think honestly, in some segments of the online left, he'd get more pushback if he was more of a debate bro with the people he has on his show. You know, he just kind of
and he doesn't even debate, bro. He sits there like,
debated with them more. But like, if he actually debated with them more, I think he actually might get more criticism from some people, because then he'd be a debate bro.
Yeah, and he sits there like, yeah, dude, that's cool, man. And crazy, and this is where this all like ties back into elk hunting and mixed martial arts. This ties back in that feeling of when you shoot the elk and then you skin it and then you eat. But anyways, where I was going with all that was oh fuck. At some point I was basically gonna bring up yeah, like, you know, like a lot of these people that claim to be in favor of that claim to hate the pull yourself by your bootstraps argument, the people who are like, I was like in this position and now I'm not because I did stuff. Well, yeah, Cherry Bread was pretty on point when she shotted San's like fucking dumbass mauled tweet saying, dude, just say, and she added, dude, just fucking say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Jesus Christ, this is brain dead. Did I get Cherry? Fuck, my apologies. Cherry uses they, them. I fucked that up. Anyways,
that's all right.
Anyway, yeah, Cherry tweets a lot of fucking bangers. Cherry's one of my favorite accounts to follow. But yeah, the tweet is great. For those things that might be on your stream and not have like my screen up, says, listen, if you're in poverty and the only thing keeping you from cooking at home is you think cooking is too hard and the grocery store is boring, maybe you need to grow the fuck up a little bit. As if this is like a actual fucking systemic issue. And then he tried to be like, he was subtweeting like some person in his fucking chat. And it's like, okay, honestly, who the fuck cares? Because this is listen, who the fuck cares? Because regardless, restricting this shit actually does like negatively impact people's lives. Like somebody in my Discord, I don't know if you saw in the general chat after you joined, if you saw Missy Maserati or not. Missy Maserati like works in various stuff relating to like automotive and especially motorsports specifically. And she was saying she knows this like kid who who's like he's really good driver. He's neurodivergent. He's on the autism spectrum. And he like cannot fucking cook. And he like depends on his dad to fucking like keep him fed. And sometimes his dad gets really busy with work and he'll have to like wait to eat because of it and shit like that. But yeah, his kid's like a really good driver, but the kid's like hovers around like 100 pounds in weight, because I get the vibe that he's like small in general, but yeah, he
right, and
it's not like when you like, and this also just makes the case for like we should like remove the fucking strings with assistance and just give people fucking cash, even if like I don't give a flying fuck if we like give just like cash to people and then they just go spend it all on booze or something. I don't fucking give a shit. because I'm not going to punish. I don't have a fucking desire to punish somebody who actually is going to spend that on, stuff that's, excuse me, not booze. And then there's also the argument that especially if like getting the appropriate, especially in this current environment, getting the, if you're like an extreme alcoholic to the point where you have like physical withdrawal when you try to quit, and like accessing the resources to be able to like detox safely are very limited, people buying booze could even actually be like a potentially life-saving thing. Eurus McRoll says the other day gave money to a homeless guy, dude just went ahead and spent it on an ugly monkey NFT.
Spend it on apes. Just like in Shark Tale, bet it all. Bet it all. You ever seen that movie? Spend it all on apes. And the example you gave is great because it gives a specific story in which, like, forcing poor people to spend their government assistance on specific foods is like, it doesn't work. It doesn't help those people, and we don't even need to get that specific of an example though. Like, we could just take, single mother of 2 has 2 jobs. She doesn't have time to cook. She doesn't have time to go to the grocery store in the first place. All she has time for is fast food.
It like, people underestimate. Yeah, I've seen so many people underestimate how much of especially if you like live in a fucking suburb. If you like live in a super fucking suburban area, or you live in like some city where all the local grocery stores have like moved out to the suburbs, like when I lived in Pittsburgh for a it was a brief period of time. I lived in the city of Pittsburgh, and it was when I was like 20 years old, and like in 2015, almost 7 years ago, I lived in like Brighton Heights, which is a neighborhood at the edge of the city limits of Pittsburgh. And it was like, it wasn't that bad of a food desert compared to plenty of other places within Pittsburgh, and especially like in other cities. But it was still something of a food desert. There was this one like actual grocery like store that people could easily walk to, that I could easily walk to because it was right down the street from my house. And it was this like local butcher that sold like a variety of other groceries too, but it was primarily a butcher. And that place closed at like fucking 5 or 6 o'clock every day. Like, it had weird hours. Then
that is weird hours.
Yeah.
What if I want to go there drunk off my ass? At 9 p.m. It's like and a lot of people are going to be working during those hours. There's a lot of people are going to be working during those hours. There's also probably plenty of people who work overnights and are sleeping the entirety of the time the place is fucking open. And that place is like right around the corner from my house, just like my job was. They were like right next to each other, which was really awesome because I drove my car for work, because I was a delivery guy, so I would drive over to this pizza shop. But if I wanted to go like buy something at Tom Friday's or something, I would just walk over there. The actual grocery store was a little bit further. It was in the neighborhood, but it was roughly like a mile away. Took a little bit there to get to there. But it took a little bit to get there, but wasn't fucking that bad. Now, say if I like needed groceries after getting off work, which is at night, the Giant Eagle that was the like actual grocery store, the Giant Eagle that was in the city, not too far away from me, would close at like fucking 9 or 10 p.m. as well as a lot of the other like grocery stores in the city. So if I really needed like groceries after work, I would have to drive like 5.5 fucking miles through like suburban bullshit roads where you can't like drive very fast to get to the nearest fucking like real grocery store that was open 24 hours a day. Jesus, man.
Or I could go to some local fucking 24-hour convenience store and get ripped off super hard. Right. Yeah. And so often, especially after work, it feels like if I didn't want to drive like 6 miles to go to the fucking grocery store, I'd drive like 1 and get a fucking cheeseburger or some shit. Like, especially when you've spent like all through the day fucking when people are like, well, I work like 12 hours a day, and I work 12 hours a day. Okay, cool. You're fucking superhuman if you're constantly cooking your own food after, and like doing actual cooking too.
There's always those fucking superhuman, like, yeah, I sleep 1 hour a night, wake up, work out for 4 hours, go to work, grind for 16 hours, come home, cook, get it done, go to the grocery store to buy more food, only protein, no sugar, get back to work, grind for 7 more hours. Yeah, I know this has been over 24 hours, but that's just my Sigma grind set. Like, it's like, okay, cool, dude, cool, you can do it all. Oh, also, I come home and I take care of my family of 16,
Yeah, it's like the pure it's the pure condescension.
Right.
The condescension and the idea that just the pure idea that we live in this like society where globally so much food is fucking produced that like every single person could at least be not starving.
Right.
And the whole
sorry,
like, but still so much of it is fucking wasted. So much of it is like wasted because it's not sold for a fucking profit while millions and millions of like shitloads and shitloads and shitloads of people are fucking starving everywhere. And we could end it. We could like end that issue like multiple times over for the most part. But instead, considering all this, the idea that like you have to be like some sort of superhuman to be able to eat is fucking ridiculous.
Right. I just looked it up. 108 billion pounds of food wasted per year in the United States. I mean, and
that's probably enough to feed every starving person on the fucking planet alone.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
And 130 billion meals is what that equates to apparently. And I mean, a lot of this is like because of bureaucratic regulations that state that like you can't, like, that don't even allow you to donate your food to homeless people. And then also it's grocery stores with this sadistic quote unquote profit motive that, oh well, if we gave our food away then no one would buy it, and which is just absolutely incredible that this is the elite top of the line system that we've got, that we live under, in which we throw away food to keep it from people so that way we can sell it to them.
Yep. Oh, one moment.
And there have been studies that I've read about direct cash grants to poor people, and the results are astounding. They're spend it responsibly, reliably, a high percentage of the time.
Usually to actually improve their lives. These fucking, all of these arguments that, but people will waste it, is like entirely based on racist and classist stereotypes. If they do, I don't give a shit. I give much less of a shit about that than say, how much money does the United States government waste every year on fucking middleman bullshit with its military contractors, who are definitely the people who are actually really happy about the shit in Ukraine right now because they know it means they're going to be able to sell shitloads more, especially like with all these missiles that they fucking use for warfare. Like, so much of warfare is done with fucking missiles now. And those things are literally like, it's like, hey, here's something that costs like $1 million fucking dollars.
$1 million per missile.
Yeah, that you use it once and it fucking explodes and it's gone.
And it misses.
Yeah.
and it misses at best. At worst, it hits a family of 4 who was not involved in the conflict at all.
Yeah.
$12 million right there. Turn that family into skeletons.
Yeah, it's fucking absurd.
No one who complains about this is complaining about missiles being wasted overseas. They're complaining about, oh, but what if a poor person buys some booze with their government assistance?
Yeah, they don't care about the enormous amount of waste that comes from extremely fucking wealthy people often outright cheating on their fucking taxes every year.
Right. I'd much rather waste money at least attempting to help poor people instead of wasting money um granting more tax breaks to massive corporations or sending giant missiles overseas.
Yeah, when we're actually helping people, it's not a fucking waste of money.
Right.
And this all ties back into the whole thing about virtue signaling. I can't almost everybody who talks about fucking virtue signaling, 99% of the times, yeah, they're a piece of shit and they are doing the virtue signaling themselves. Like,
yeah.
Isn't it? It's more of a
counter could you possibly have?
Yeah, isn't it?
Like, hey, I actually care about people. Oh, you're just virtue signaling. You don't actually mean that. Like, yeah, I do. Like, what else can I say?
Yeah, and especially in this case, it's people using people have this idea of people on food stamps and fearmonger over something that is not like a systemic problem. And use false fear of, but we'll be making it worse by like having public subsidizing of shitty behavior and blah or whatnot. And it's like
there's no numbers backing that up,
Yeah, there aren't numbers backing that up like at all. It's fucking ridiculous.
And I think the bottom line is they don't even care if the numbers back them up. At its core, this is just an anti-poor, racist, classist argument.
Yeah, even when people who a lot of people probably aren't even really aware of of how rooted in racism the stereotypes of the welfare queen.
Right. It's it's rooted in social Darwinism, which is rooted in
especially the whole idea that if you're not good enough, we might have there might be no actual scarcity of food, but we've created this artificial scarcity where if you aren't able to afford your own the very basics of your own existence, sorry buddy, but you're just too subhuman to be alive.
Right.
It's social Darwinistic as fuck.
Get rid of the extra people.
Yeah.
By taking away their government assistance. They couldn't bootstrap it.
Yeah, in reality, the people who I actually
have to starve.
Yeah. What I actually consider to be the people who are completely fucking worthless are the ghouls who do who literally do nothing but fucking exploit people.
Right.
And we have because our society is built where they are basically the people that make the fucking world turn. But it doesn't have to be this way. And Globe Twitter insists, well, yes, it does, because if you look at these graphs that I am willfully misinterpreting to back up my sociopathic worldview, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, they're the job creators,
The job creators
where would Amazon be without Jeff Bezos?
That actually reminds me, I gotta pull up Cherry Bread's where's the tweet again?
Yeah, Cherry Bread really does drop bangers constantly.
Oops, sneeze time. Hey, actually managed to mute my mic for that one. Your Uristic Prol says in chat, nice. I remember hearing the leftist argument for giving money to homeless people even if they wasted it on booze. Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, I wasn't quite as far left, nearly as far left as I am now. And I saw somebody I knew posting that stuff. One of the nicest girls I've ever met. She was posting stuff about yeah, just give homeless people money. Don't condescendingly offer to buy them lunch or some shit like that. It was just give homeless people money. Who gives a fuck if they spend it on booze. Just if you want, like, try to be the fucking goodness you want to see in the world.
Dude, you
And
know
especially
what?
when it's just some random person that you're never gonna probably never gonna fucking see again. Right. Like, don't worry, don't like view it as people like taking advantage of you. And I actually have had a lot of people take advantage of my like generosity and shit. And I fucking hate it when people do that. That doesn't turn, I haven't let that turn me into a ghoul with my views on overall fucking like, on like at least how society should be. I'm pretty fucking black-pilled about the way society currently exists, but but yeah, so yeah, like Jerry Bread was saying, like, dude, like responding to Son, dude, just say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Jesus Christ, this is brain dead. Well, and yeah, another person in the replies then put another screen cap saying he pretty much did say it. Let's read this one from Sansol, the Prince of Raccoons, which a lot of people I know who do the fucking raccoon stuff are like, we don't claim him. People whose like avatars are raccoons and shit like that. So, holy fuck, no one wants to just say it's not hard to fucking cook. I'm about to turn into a bootstraps conservative and say, you've all been coddled so much, you can't even look at a reasonable take without infantilizing some marginalizing group. And then, oh my God, that's such a trying to like, what's the word? It's such a like failed attempt to turn the fucking tables. Cause it's like, dude, your takes infantilize marginalized people in the fucking first place.
And you know what? I think when I give money to a homeless person, you know what? I hope they spend it on alcohol. That's based.
Yeah.
That's gang alcohol, buddy.
Yeah, based. Yeah.
If you're homeless, at least you should be drunk for it.
Yep. Alex Roivas says, I agree about giving people cash, but there's also a point to giving people stuff and not just cash, like meaning like governmentally, not just say giving like material goods to like a homeless person or something, not like at the individual level, at a societal scale. Because one of the problems with UBI is that landlords will just raise the price of rent. I'm not making an argument against UBI, but it needs to be in addition to things like stuff that aren't really like fungible. Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, and we need to actually, instead of just having like UBI, we need to move towards like fucking, the other problem I have with this is you want to create a world where we minimize as much as possible the actual number of people who are facing food insecurity, right? The way we can do that is decommodifying food. It's not getting us closer to decommodifying essentials like food and housing to sit there fucking mulding about whether or not somebody's spending their fucking EBT bucks to get McDonald's. It's doing the opposite, if anything.
And you know, it's really not an argument against things like UBI to say, oh well, you know, landlords will just raise rent, so it's just meaningless. Like, how fucked is that oh, we can't let people have more money because then the ownership class will just get more of it. That's an indictment of capitalism, you know, not of the idea of a basic income. And absolutely, you know, decommodification of food is you know, absolutely essential. Like, we are at the point in society where we could easily achieve this if there were not corporate interests whose shareholders would be upset if they weren't able to rake in billions of dollars a year by denying food to poor people. Society could stand on its own feet if even if you know, the major shareholders of Walmart lost some money in giving food to poor people. I think they'll survive. Yeah,
they're gonna survive. It's not gonna put them out into the fucking street.
Though that would be pretty sick if the Walton family was put out into the street. That would be kind of cool, not gonna lie.
Well, at least have to move into like the have to be part of the housing collective instead of living in a fucking mansion in the middle of nowhere. Because because like no matter how much, that's part of my like principles is no matter is I also am totally a fan. I am also, I do not care if the fucking people that are taking advantage of like public services are people that I despise. No matter how much I fucking hate somebody, I think that like the fact that we exist in this society that can create such like actual plenty, that nobody should be fucking like starving or like homeless because of artificial scarcity that we've created. Caradotus says it'd also be interesting to see UBI in the form of utility. Maybe we'll get the government to work toward move towards some green, efficient and greener solutions. No, Epic Messer, you did not miss Ukraine talks. I'll probably talk a bit about Ukraine after we're done talking to Jimmy here. Jimmy, you got what, maybe like 40 minutes left before you got to play D&D?
Oh yeah, I've got a little bit of time. Yeah, and it's just how fucked. Like, how does someone get to this fucked up mindset that like, oh, these people are poor, and it's because in my mind of poor life choices. Therefore, they and their families deserve to live in misery and possibly die of starvation. How does someone get to that point in their life where they're believing that? I mean, the answer is they've been fed propaganda probably from the time they were a young child. You know, maybe their parents watched Tucker Carlson, who asks dumbass rhetorical questions like, and why do 99% of poor families have a refrigerator?
Yeah.
You know, and then they go to school in fucking, I don't know, Kentucky, where they get the most backwoods ass education you could possibly get, where they're not taught critical thinking deliberately because critical thinking is of the devil, and they end up, you know, they're probably like, for some of them they probably grew up poor, but then hate that about themselves as if that's like a deficiency of character, and kind of project that onto a class beneath them, the same way that lower class white people looked down upon slaves and promoted the idea of slavery so that they could have that hierarchy above someone else.
Yeah.
There's got to be something rooted in that mindset that leads someone to truly, on some level, despise poor people.
Yeah, it's the culture we live. It's the culture we live in that, like, it's a scathing indictment of the culture we live in that puts dollar values on people's lives.
Right.
To say the least. Alex says, my grandma gets her rent subsidized. That whole program is just welfare for landlords. They could spend less on good public housing, but that doesn't make landlords richer. Yeah, the way in which we like go about like subsidized housing and shit, like Section 8 housing is often run by complete like absolute like ghoul fucking slumlord people. I guess this would be a good time to say, like, talk about, like, what do you think are good steps to, like, decommodifying food and housing and water and other basic essentials?
I mean, expanding what we've currently got for, you know, welfare would be a pretty good start for EBT and food stamps and all that. Like, I mean, realistic steps, it's hard to come up with, like, it's hard to ride that line of what's kind of too idealistic and what is actually realistic, like, because I think you'd agree, I'd like to see us fucking nationalize corporations like Walmart and you know, take control of the food industry, or
and
at least turn those into worker co-ops.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even more so than, I think there definitely needs to be a lot of legal measures in order to like seize these holdings from a parasitic classes and give the ownership of them to the people who actually generate the holdings value, which are the people who do the
Right.
fucking labor. Yeah.
Right.
And
It's just,
and this could be done with housing too. Like I think like I do think that there should be like there should be legal instruments for like to allow people to seize like how like especially large like multiple dense housing like apartment complexes and shit. People should, especially if the landlords are like complete scumbags and it can be proven in court and shit, there should be legal incidents for the or legal precedent. There should be legal instruments for the people who are living under those conditions to seize the property from these fucking scumbag landlords and collectively own it among themselves.
oh, absolutely.
Collective ownership of shit like housing and actually like having this is one of my issues with fucking tankies and shit. Is you can like change the colors of a flag all you want, but if you just like just having like the government be in charge of everything and then connecting it all to this like one party state that often will like punish people for not conforming to its will in various ways doesn't actually transfer the actual ownership over the means of production into the actual workers.
Yeah, and with tankies, they seem to think that because landlordism is an exploitative parasitic system, that if we were to kill or gulag all of the landlords, well, then that would solve the system. But I'm not of the belief that we can solve a system by killing the people involved with it. I think we actually need to make a real transfer.
Yeah, especially if we especially if it's like if it's like people kill all the old landlords and then they just end up doing the same type of shit. They become the new powerful class. I thought the purpose was to like get rid of the concept of there being the power of the class that holds all the power and enriches itself via the exploitation of the others.
Well, hey, maybe if all the landlords were gaslight gatekeep girl bosses, then maybe they would they'd be more trans inclusive in who they lease an apartment to. You know, I think that would be the neolib.
Yeah.
Fucking solution.
Yeah. More gay landlords. More gay landlords. More gay drone pilots. But Maupin says China is full of socialist billionaires and landlords that do the right thing. More socialist landlords. Beerba Keck B.
Yeah, I think I think if we got better union activity in this fucking country, which has like some of the weakest unions in the developed world right now.
Oh
last
yeah,
I checked. I think that would be a huge step to at least giving some more worker control.
It would definitely be a step. Yeah, of course,
you know?
And I mean,
and I think what you and I do helps at least a little bit. You know, trying to spread class consciousness. I think we need more pro-union propagandists. If anything, we need to get more people to acknowledge that, hey, things are not great and they could be much better if you fucking came together as a class and actually, fought for your interests. Because so many unions are just absolutely anemic in this country. They exist almost as a facade, as a tool of the ruling class to manufacture this idea that they actually exist to stand up for workers' rights, when really all they do is deny the ability to strike for a lot of workers. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
now
sad.
that's not to speak of every union, but that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah, and of course, like I don't think that because I've noticed some when people talk about like I've seen like plenty of like super hardcore communists and whatnot when people are talking about unions. When people are talking about unions, when I see super hardcore communists like smugly like brush off unions, it's like I obviously don't think or like try to be like, oh, you think that unions are gonna solve everything? How naive! Like, of course I'm not that naive. Like unions obviously
Nobody
aren't going
thinks
to be
that.
the be all end all. They're just a valuable and historically one of the most successful instruments for protecting the rights of the worker. And then if we'll go back to shitting on the tankies for a second, all the states that tankies simp for are places where, because of the concept of fucking vanguardism and shit, there was like one legal trade union that basically becomes a puppet of the state and the new ostensibly communist ruling class, and then they outlaw all the other ones.
Right.
But yeah, obviously, like, just because there's obviously there's been plenty of issues with unions. Just look at the history of unions, especially in the United States. Lots of them have had serious problems with and still do with racism, being involved with organized crime, being sexist as hell, being extremely nepotistic, being I remember a friend of mine who became a welder made a joke about like getting a job with Boilermakers unionized or something like that. He was joking around I know that nepotism is rampant in the union. So yeah, if any of you know any unions that work in this field know of a place that's hiring, if any of you know of a place that's hiring and you're a member, tell them I'm your cousin.
Hey, it could be kind of based if we got some unions with organized crime involved, and then we could in Roblox physically threaten the owners of massive corporations. Just a thought. It would be cool if we did that in Roblox.
Yeah, that would be a hilarious thing to do in Escape from Tarkov or Minecraft or Hearts or some weird Hearts of Iron 4 mod.
Yeah.
Tasty whiskey. Carrot speaking of this topic, yeah, so it is sad to see the anti-work subreddit, the r/anti-work up in flames.
You know what? I have not really looked at that much.
I've never really looked at that subreddit. I haven't really looked at that subreddit much either, but apparently one of the people in charge of it went on fucking Fox News and called into Tucker Carlson or some other Fox News show. And it was kind of a train wreck and didn't really make it was kind of an optical disaster. I don't really know the details. I might have to watch it at some point.
Once we're done talking, well, actually, no. Once we're done talking, I've got D&D to do. But maybe on my next stream, I'll have to go into that.
Yeah,
that is what I've heard.
And then
someone in my chat just said that they're playing HOI4 right now.
Oh, nice.
Which you just mentioned, and he says you're the most base person I've had on.
Oh, so, awesome! Thank you.
Congratulations, Beer Bash.
Carrot says, yeah, my buddy was a union electrician apprentice and they treated him like shit to the point he actually switched careers. Yeah, unions have often a very serious boys club problem.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, yeah, and that's because of cultural attitude.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm naive. I think that'll be less of a problem with unions today,
Yeah, especially if we get more people who are...
The problem would be with trans people. I could still see that being a little bit of an issue.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely going to be issues with homophobia, transphobia. Welcome to the show, Boy Meets Mini. I hope you're having a good night. We're talking to Jimmy from the YouTube channel Jimmy's Room. And we've been having a great
Yep.
talk about people spewing dog shit takes about EBT, and just it's kind of branched off into other stuff relating to, you know, actually like the EBT people are virtue signaling. They're accusing like lefties of virtue signaling over like whether or not people can buy like McDonald's at their EBT. In reality, they're the ones doing the actual virtue signaling. But
yeah, it's such a weak argument to accuse someone of virtue signaling.
yeah,
It really is.
it's just
Like,
it
okay,
always it usually
99.9%
boils.
of the time.
Yeah, there's plenty of times where it's totally fucking justified, such as when it's like, it seems like you are yourself virtue signaling while calling people out for virtue signaling. How interesting.
Oh, you know what? Actually, perfect example. Tucker Carlson bitching about the sexy M&Ms. Massive virtue signaling for his culture war fucking bullshit interests. That is an actual virtue signal.
I'd say that's a good time to use the Birba soy emote. Virtue signaling soy. Yeah, I think Birba soy might be. I'm so glad I fucking took that picture and added that as an emote. That's the Birba soy emote.
I think I saw that in your Discord.
Fucking gold. Yeah, I posted the picture in my Discord. And then of course I also I debuted 3 new emotes today. In the hours before my stream, we added Birba soy. Then we also added Birba Kekby. And then also Birba really, which is just the the source image is also findable in my Discord. Divine Lie, who was in chat a little while ago, sent me the source image to it. It's just one of those weird little like kind of like very simply drawn blonde blob people with stick arms holding a plate of cinnamon rolls with an angry look, and he's just like, really, in front of my cinnamon rolls? I just fucking love it.
I'm trying to find it in your Discord so I can show the chat.
Yeah, it's in general BS. Just if you scroll up by if you scroll up, there's both the cutout one.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
And the original, really, right in front of my cinnamon rolls.
Beautiful. Really? Right in front of my cinnamon rolls?
Oh man, I need to get on like a grind of actually filling up my. I got some BTDV shared emotes and FFZ shared emotes, but I really need to get on a grind of just making emotes to fill up all my Twitch emote slots. And then also you can like the slots that you can upload your own emotes to on BTTV and FFZ. And I've also been thinking about adding
YouTube, so I need to. I don't have any emotes.
That's the thing that's like
transition over to Twitch. Honestly,
that's the thing about streaming on YouTube is you like on Twitch you don't like. On Twitch, I don't think you can. Maybe they let fucking non-affiliates have follower emotes now, like emotes that are only usable in your channel, but anybody who follows can use. But as opposed to, I forget if they allow that, but like on Twitch, you can only have your own custom channel emotes, like for subscribers at least. Once you're, Alex, I don't have 7TV set up yet at all. It took me a while. I used to only have better TTV. It took me a while to get FFZ set up, but Carrot Otis says at least YouTube said they're going to try to improve their streaming stuff this year. Yeah, like that's one thing I've always preferred about streaming on Twitch is just like the culture around emotes on Twitch and shit makes it like way more fun to participate in stream chats on Twitch. Like I know YouTube you can have custom channel emotes now, but you have to be like monetized on YouTube, and being monetized on YouTube is honestly like a decent bit harder than getting affiliated on Twitch.
Yeah, you need something like 1,000 subscribers or something.
Yeah, and that's like difficulty. My YouTube has like next to no
next to no subscribers?
Yeah, my YouTube channel has like 50 fucking
Hey, chat,
subscribers.
you know
I'm
what
at
to do.
like, yeah.
You know what to do.
And in my
You
chat
got
also,
50
for any ins that might not be subbed to my YouTube yet, just a little reminder, there's a link to my YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, my YouTube, I believe, is like Beer Bash Johnson TV or TTV. If you search Beer Bash Johnson, my videos will probably come up at some point. I don't think the algorithm buries me too hard because I don't think the algorithm buries me too hard because my name is like not very similar to many other people's.
True.
And it has the same fist logo. Yeah, it's just, it makes me sad to especially see people that like used to be half decent just go down this like really just like go down this like really cringe like spiral of fucking bullshit. I just, so far nobody's ever made a substantive, like Mindwaves was talking about, like, what do you like quote tweeted Vosh being like, yeah, substantive argument to letting people pay. I haven't seen a substantive argument to not let people fucking buy McDonald's or other hot like meals with EBT.
Right.
I've
Like,
literally just seen virtue
looked,
signaling.
You know? Yeah. I haven't seen a substantive argument to let poor people buy fast food is just incredible.
I've never seen
Like,
all these people virtue signaling about it. They're not like pulling up actual fucking hard data about like, well, you see, if you bully people into like eating healthier because of by like making them starve otherwise, that'll have this like net benefit. Which even if the numbers could actually shit. But yeah, even if the numbers did actually somehow work out like to like actually support that argument, it's like, yeah, but you're still not showing how this is like, are you just like some robot that you think that like because numbers show X picture, you should be allowed to like grossly violate a person's like personal autonomy?
Right. And oh god, what was I gonna say? And the fact that like, you know, oh, we're going to give you government assistance, but we're also going to make the decision of how you have to use it. That's like completely discounting people's personal experiences being different. You know, no two poor families have the exact same circumstances that they're working with. You know, like, oh, you can have food stamps, but you can only spend them on fucking lettuce and tomatoes from from fucking Walmart. Like, that's not how it's going to solve every poor person's problem. In fact,
yeah,
the amount of people whose problems it solves probably substantially lower than it could be if we just, again, gave cash directly to poor people.
Bingo. Yeah, spot on. I couldn't have fucking said it any better myself.
Thank you.
Brain melty.
We met each other, Beer Bash.
Yeah. So just like quick aside, you said you said you went to college with Ravana?
I did, yeah.
Well, that's cool as shit.
Oh, you must have seen that on her Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to college. I didn't
I can't reply to it even. I was like, wait, yins are college classmates? Or I was like, wait, yins are college classmates or something like that.
We weren't like if I'm being honest, we weren't like super tight, but like she went to the bar I worked at a lot, and you know, I talked to her.
Acquainted.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got acquainted. So I'm actually supposed to do something with her at some point soon. Some kind of
awesome
collaboration. So that's
she was on the she was part of that she was one of the other people who appeared on that charity stream I appeared on a little while back, that seductive seaweed Seductive Seaweed and Allie is Crying and Denims were like the main hosts of.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, some other time we'll definitely have to like get into it. We'll definitely have to have another talk sometime in the future about like, because you said you're
absolutely.
a teacher, right? Like you teach high school social studies.
Yep.
We'll have to talk about what it's like being in the educational profession, especially in this environment. A friend of mine from childhood is a Spanish teacher now. I think she teaches like middle schoolers or high schoolers, and
they won't let her teach Marxism, Leninism.
yeah.
Dude, that's fucked. I'm just kidding.
But,
I'm just kidding. For the record, I do not support
just out of
ideology.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, like what state do you teach in?
Gosh, I'm not sure if I want to say.
Oh, that's fine.
I just recently debated this pretty big incel YouTuber, and immediately afterwards, his chat, the one thing they were talking about is where does he live? Where does he live? So I'm gonna try and stay away from that topic for a while. I would tell you. I'll tell you on Discord if you really want to know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's monka as shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like being originally from Pennsylvania, it was like the education there, at least in my district was like a decent district, but and Pennsylvania doesn't like dive into the territory of doesn't like dive into the weird territories of, you know, like outright teaching lost cause mythology as history.
Oh, okay.
Like in the deep south and shit. But it can still be, it's still like in a lot of places in Pennsylvania, public school districts are absolutely horrible, like in fucking rural areas and shit like that. And
like
even though
destiny,
you
know,
even if it's like, even if it's not as much the curriculum is like super problematic, it's just like the teachers, like they don't like have very good teachers. They have really bad programs and facilities and shit. Grossly outdated supplies. Not just. Yeah, it's like even if the curriculum doesn't suck, they're often just like grossly underfunded and underserved.
Yeah.
Especially, it's a problem both in like urban school districts and way out in the country too.
And that's a problem with how schools are most often funded, which is by, you know, local property taxes, so that poor areas end up getting you know, less funding, and then surprise, surprise, those poor areas also perform less well, and then under laws that still exist from the time of No Child Left Behind, a fucking disastrous policy or set of policies.
Yeah, No Child Left Behind is fucking horrible.
For performing poorly, and then they performed even more poorly, setting them up to fail more and more in the future. We can talk about this on a later stream. Sorry,
that's fine. Yeah, we'll be able to cover that in the future, but still, it's just like, they literally they cut the funding to the schools that are performing poorly, and then they do worse, and they do the fucking shocked Pikachu face.
Yeah, I was literally about to say shocked Pikachu, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have fucking.
And even then, this all ties into the
less, they perform even worse.
This all ties into the original thing, into the whole original thing that we were talking about relating to EBT, poverty, ghoulish takes about that stuff.
Punish
because there are so many.
Just as a concept.
And there are so many kids across this country in schools who the one like meal that they are guaranteed per day is like fucking their federally subsidized free lunch.
Yep.
Which is
schools, like, and often they fucking suck.
Yeah, and school lunches are often disgusting too. Like I lived in a fucking I'm from the town where I'm originally from. I don't live there anymore. I live in like far upstate New York now. But my original hometown is State College, Pennsylvania, where Penn State University is.
Uh-huh.
And the school district there is like one of the wealthiest school districts in Pennsylvania, especially because like the university makes that like a decently wealthy area for the most part. And the school district, their fucking food was still garbage. Their fucking cheeseburgers tasted like a goddamn fried boot. And like,
You know, I gotta say I can't relate because my high school was in like a pretty wealthy area where I'm from, and not gonna lie, the lunches were actually kind of fire. Like
nice.
I was
That's
incredibly
great.
privileged, but they were I kind of miss them sometimes. It would be nice if at the high school I worked at currently had lunches that good. But but yeah, I mean, it's a serious problem. I mean, for I would say probably the majority of schools have, you know, just dog shit lunches. Like not even dog food lunches. They feed that to the dogs, and then they feed the kids the shit that comes out after. And it all comes down partly at least to funding. The just the method by which schools are funded, which is catastrophic.
Oh, fuck.
It's really the
Sorry.
idea of punishing people into doing better just does not work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And that's on so many levels, you know?
Yeah, whether it be crime or
this is a touchy
poverty.
one. This is a touchy one. Spanking children even, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that doesn't lead to
Corporal
better
punishment.
behavior. There's been studies on this.
Yeah, all of the arguments in favor of like every argument I've ever heard, everybody I've ever heard that like thinks people should be like casually allowed to corporally punish their children, all of the arguments for it are actual fucking cope. Like they don't
They're all fallacy. They're all logical fallacies.
Yeah, not to mention it's literally just
I turned out fine. And it's like, no, dog, I know you. You're fucking depressed. You didn't turn out fine.
Yeah, you didn't turn out fine. You got anxiety problems, and now you're wanting people to beat their fucking kids.
Right.
Yeah, Boy Meets Minnie, you're spot on. Hyper individualism doesn't fucking work. Punishment is always rehabilitated. Punishment is never rehabilitative.
Right.
It's always counterproductive to that. Punishment more often in any of these situations is more often counterproductive to actually like improving anything than the alternatives.
These same people are fucking surprised at the rate of repeat offenders of crimes in this country. It's because we don't have rehabilitative justice. We punish them for it. They get out in a couple years. They do it again. Also partly because they're in poverty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And especially, recidivism rates are so fucking high here because there's like so much stigma attached to like having criminal convictions that it can often force people back into fucking it can force people into like trying to get by working in criminal stuff.
Yeah, you check that box of yes, I've committed a felony before. Boom, you'll never get a fucking legit job again. Sorry, asshole. Guess you're going to have to commit crimes forever and then get punished for it forever.
Yeah, even like a lot of fucking really... There's even a lot of jobs that aren't really that good, in air quotes, that like won't fucking touch people who have felony convictions.
Right. Because, I mean, and here's the thing, like...
And then it's like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Starve and live on the street or go traffic a kilogram of cocaine for this drug lord who said he'll pay my fucking rent for 6 months if I do it?
Right. And like, you know, if you're an employer, even if you're like fucking, you know, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, employer, woman of color, and you see two applications in front of you, one says felony conviction, reasonably, you're going to go for the one that's not a felony conviction. And I actually, like, that's understandable, you know? It's not a good, but it's a horrible fucking thing. It's a horrible system that leads to recidivism and the cycle of poverty.
Dad, no, Trad Chad, Dad, no, you did not miss the entirety of the Snap Discourse. I'll probably upload this talk to YouTube, though, after we're done for the night.
Yeah.
We're getting towards the end because Jimmy here's got to go play some D&D soon, but
I do.
Yeah, we're
play
just
some D&D
we've branched off into some other topics, but we've branched off into some other topics, but they all do cut back into the they are often we can still relate them back to the original discourse about fucking EBT and because it's overlaps. Yeah, having intersectional analyses to things is always good.
Oh yeah.
Which is what pisses me off when people like hear intersectionalism and start like getting class reductionist about shit or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Because to do that then ignores the way in which things like race, gender, etc. all play into these economic factors and what is class in our society.
Yeah, let's try and intersect astronomy into this too. Let's see how far out we can get.
How to intersect astronomy into this?
Maybe with Elon Musk trying to colonize Mars as a solution to climate change.
Yeah, and people are going to be told
that could be our way of.
When that actually is like, if that ever actually gets underway, people are going to be told that the way they can escape poverty is to go be Elon Musk's indentured fucking servant on Mars.
Yeah, he's bringing back serfdom, guys. He's the forward-thinking innovator of the future, bringing back serfdom, bringing back the peasant class who works on the lands that you own, and can never pay you back for it.
Yeah, Trad Chad Dead says in chat, I just wanted to point out that Snap does offer fast food for some groups of people. Yeah, I've heard of the restaurant meals program. I know it's a program for some people like elderly people, disabled people, homeless people, but ultimately by restricting it exclusively to those people and like making them prove that in order to like be able to pay for restaurant food, in order like creating this differentiation, I just view it as another unnecessary level of means testing that I think we should avoid across the board. And really like one of some of like when we're talking about this stuff, what we should really be talking about is increasing benefits.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, there's so many, like, they try to add caveats to it. Like you said, means testing.
Yeah.
Are they on drugs? Like, whatever. I don't fucking care if they're on drugs. If we gave them cash, they'd probably make their life better. Maybe even get off drugs,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like if people's ability to worry about their basic necessities isn't so like if people aren't constantly worried about like covering their basic necessities, they're worried about having to like choose between like keeping their house warm and having food or some shit like that, or keeping the lights on. They it lowers like the misery of existence with which one might seek solace via substance addiction.
And what's entirely possible in some cases? If a family is receiving food assistance, but that's not the particular thing that they need right now. Like, oh, we've still got some food, but like our fucking lights, like you said, our lights are out, or our car is not working. You know, if they were just given cash directly, they could solve their own individual personal problems, as opposed to the government telling them, no, this is your problem. This is what we're solving for you.
Bingo. Spot on. Very accurate. Yeah, I don't think I could have said it better myself. And of course, we're going to get the people.
Said many wonderful things.
Well, thank you. We're gonna get the people that will always be like, of course, like, but that's my taxpayer. That's the taxpayer's money, bro.
All right, Beer Bash. It's been an absolute pleasure and an absolute wonder
Yeah, this has
being
been
on and also having you on.
yeah, this has been a fucking great talk. I'm looking forward to organizing another one where to talk a little bit more about. I've been wanting to talk with a teacher on stream a while about stuff relating to like education, relating to like education right now, especially in the current climate of like I graduated from high school in 2014. COVID-19 wasn't a fucking issue back then. I didn't think it ever would be. At that point in time, I didn't think that in 2000 that in the early 2020s we would have this like serious disease problem throwing a wrench in everything.
Oh, and I was embarrassingly late on acknowledging COVID as like a real fucking problem. Um, I don't want to get into it, but like when I was living a very busy life at the time. I did not pay attention to COVID or know what was going to happen with it. Um, but you know, here we are living it, and one unexpected result, one unexpected silver lining is that I started a stream and got to meet cool people.
I think that's an unexpected silver lining for a lot of people. Like I've definitely really expanded like the streamers that I associate that I used to kind of exist in my own little bubble, and especially since the pandemic issue, I used to rarely have streams where I averaged more than like 3 viewers, and now I regularly average like 5 and shit. And I've been on here for years. I've just never.
You're making numbers, man.
Yeah, I've been on here for years. I've just never been able to find my niche, but I finally started like actually building the fucking community and shit. Yeah, I got Boy Meets Minnie to start streaming. Boy Meets Minnie's one of my moderators. If you don't know Boy Meets Minnie, he's a really awesome dude, and he does like sim racing streaming, and he does politics segments too. His politics segments are like one thing that I've been trying to work on, but I still have a problem with it, but it's also like sort of part of my personality, my brand, my politics segments. I try to keep them informative, but also entertaining. And part of the entertaining part is how like harebrained and like scatterbrained I often get. And
oh yeah, and that is one of my favorite parts about your content.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's something I think you hit a niche that I don't hit in that regard. Like you go off the fucking chain in the best way possible. Yeah. I mean that as 100% a compliment, and I love it.
Yeah, going off the chain is all
should be watching you.
Is all the going off the chain is the fun part. Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, comrade, I know you said you had D&D, so go ahead and shout yourself out for my chat.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jimmy from Jimmy's Room. So if you search Jimmy's Room on YouTube, people have not had too much trouble finding me. I'm one of the first things that comes up. Think I might be the first person ever to combine the name Jimmy with the word room in that order. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube. That's where most of my content is. You can follow me on Twitter, where I drop all bangers all the time.
Truth.
Yeah, you can go ahead and shout yourself out. We got a few people watching over here.
Those of you hanging out with Jimmy, my name is Beer Bash Johnson. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BeerBashJohnson with 3s instead of E's, and I've been thinking about maybe shortening it to just Beer Bash or Beer Bash TV, because it's a little bit of a mouthful. Thank you very much, BotLewis45, for dropping the follow. Jimmy's Room, you might want to like type the link into. Actually, I just had your YouTube channel up. I'll go over there and do it myself.
I could go bring it to your chat if need be. Oh, and yeah,
I have your chat up right now.
G for subscribing. Is that one of your guys?
I think he might be. I forget though. I haven't seen them in chat tonight. Oops, you accidentally spelled Twitch with 2 I's in your chat. Yeah, that's a bit of a... And then you can subscribe to my YouTube, those Ian's and Jimmy's chat by, now that I've chatted in there, just, I don't know, click on my badger. Well, you have my YouTube channel's name in there, so...
Yep. You guys,
I'm primarily a Twitch dude. I'm primarily a Twitch dude, but I upload to my YouTube when I can. And, yeah, it's been really good talking.
Boy Meets Minnie.
Yep, just saw Boy Meets Minnie over in your chat. Yeah, thank you
very much, Boy Meets Minnie.
Yeah, thanks a lot for reaching out to talk about this stuff. Thanks a lot for reaching out for collaboration. I'm really I've enjoyed your Twitter presence for quite some time, and I am very glad we got to I am very glad that we have got to that we've gotten around to be able to actually like talk about stuff. I'm looking forward to scheduling a discussion about, you know, like education and shit like that in the future.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be great. I've actually been thinking about reaching out to you for a while, and like I didn't have a lot to do tonight, so I was like, you know what? Let's reach out to Beer Bash.
Awesome.
And this has been a phenomenal conversation.
And that's the thing about
Noir for subscribing as well.
Awesome. That's the thing about like reaching out to other creators is like I've always felt like so weird about it, because it's like there's been people I've wanted to work to like talk about things with on stream or like collaborate with on other stuff. And I just never have the balls to actually like ask them if they're interested, because I don't want to like be seen as a fucking clout chaser or anything. And I've always had like kind of anxiety about that stuff my whole life anyway. But
yeah, you know, I think
most people will
swallow your pride a little bit there and just fucking do it.
Swallow your pride. Yeah, swallow your pride, break the fucking ice.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, talking to people in real life.
Yeah, you know, Lucy Sevs from
yeah, I know Twitter. Lucy Sevs from Twitter.
Yeah, so she's gonna be on stream on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Currently have planned. So that's gonna be cool too.
What she's gonna be talking about?
I love this community we've got here. You know?
Yes.
Twitter is awesome. My friends
as much as Twitter,
and I don't regret it.
As much as Twitter sucks, it can definitely have good uses.
Oh, absolutely. We use the tools of our oppressors to take them down. I think Mark said something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, thanks for subbing. And you know, my people, go follow Beer Bash. Go find him on Twitter. Join his Discord if you're okay with that. Guys, join my Discord. The link is usually
I got a link.
Description.
Or actually, I think my Discord button on my channel might be broken, which makes me kind of sad. I need to fix that. But even when I'm offline, you can pull up my offline chat and type !Discord, and that will give you a working link to my Discord.
Sick.
Yeah,
my Discord's pretty cool. We allow everyone, all the weirdos in there, no matter how weird you are.
Where can I get a link to your Discord at?
I've got one in the description of my stream.
Oh, cool. I'll pull that up real quick.
I almost always have one unless I somehow forget.
Yep, you got a link in the Discord, the link to your Discord in there. There I am. I have joined Jimmy's room.
Sick. All right, I'm a little bit late to my D&D, so
yeah, go enjoy your Dungeons and Dragons, comrade. It's been great talking. I am a Dungeons and Dragons enjoyer myself, so I don't want to keep you from that anymore.
Absolutely. All right, I'll see you later, man.
Yep, have some great adventures tonight. That was a really fucking awesome talk. I am glad I did that. That was a really, really fucking awesome talk. Jimmy's a good dude. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get notifications for my future uploads. And feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought about this upload. If you are so inclined to support the channel, there's also a link to my Patreon in the description down below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.
Fuck. I can't speak right now. God damn it. Fuck.